super excited about this because when I first came to QVC, there was an oil sprayer that I was obsessed with, but we don't see those anymore. Now it's bigger, it's better, and it's glass. Not only that, this oil sprayer, or oil dispenser, if you will, has two different functions. You can spritz it, so you get that evenly distribution that covers a large surface area, only using a 1/4 teaspoon at a time, or by pressing the button at the top, you can convert it to be a pourer. So when you have to measure out a specific amount of oil or vinegar or soy sauce, anything that doesn't have solids in it, then you can do that as well. Measuring units on the side. And correct me if I'm wrong, did you say 5,300 of these have been sold since we launched this, Blaine? 5,300 since we launched this. It's K93484. It's $25. It's shipping for free. It's $833 on an easy pay. And your colors are white, red, and then here is, move it over here. Here is your black, just sort of dissected. 200 remaining here in the black, most limited. Okay, Rick Roman, I believe, is joining us. Yes, there he is, joining us via Skype. Our chef du jour, our restaurateur, our good friend. Hi.
Hello, Julia. Good to see you. I'm glad you said you love our other oil sprayer, which we love too. But we created the Oleo Duo, like you said, two different functions. So you can both spray and pour out of this. And now the reason I love the spraying function, and this is just a great example of one of the many ways you're going to use it. But when you want to roast vegetables, when you want to grill things like eggplant, when you pour oil out of a bottle, it comes out in a heavy stream. But with our patented head, you can actually dispense a 1/4 teaspoon at a time in a light, even coat. So this entire tray of eggplant has now been coated with just a little bit of oil to give the perfect amount of flavor, but also not waste that expensive oil, which we know is super costly these days, but also give you those better results and save calories. So now 1.5 teaspoons of oil covers this whole tray as opposed to wasting all that oil. But sometimes you need to measure or pour oil. At the top of the bottle, there's a little button here that you showed that you push this button on the top. Now that transitions this to a pour. So I can actually measure, maybe it's a teaspoon, a tablespoon, you name it. I can pour out of the spout. So it's both a sprayer and a pourer, because sometimes you need to pour, sometimes you need to spray. And because this is 17 ounces, you fill it up once and you have your oil or your vinegar that you're going to have at the ready at all times. You don't have to open any bottles. And here's another way I love to show. I have a little close-up camera here, Julia. You know, you think about it, things like roasting your vegetables, I just said, in the fall months ahead. When you really want to get a nice coat without drowning your vegetables, that patented sprayer allows you to spray an even coat. And I'm using this red chili oil so you can really see it. Just a nice light coat over all of that cauliflower instead of pouring a heavy stream. Maybe you're doing a caprese salad like I have right next door, and you want to put just the right amount of vinegar. Well, guess what? It dispenses only a 1/4 teaspoon at a time. But then say, hey, I like a little bit more oil. I press the button, and now I can pour a heavier amount of oil on those tomatoes. So it allows you to get both functions really precisely and use just the right amount of oil or vinegar. I really, really love this item.
This is so cool. I really, really love it too. I know we launched it in August. It's been very, very popular, 5,300 sold. Black, red, and white, those are your options. Tell me about cleaning.
So to clean this, and I'm just showing you how, that's a teaspoon, by the way. I covered this entire tray with a teaspoon of vinegar just to show you how it spreads it. But to clean it, super simple. So the glass bottom can actually go in the top shelf of the dishwasher.
Okay.
But if you want to flush out the head, what I do is I put warm soapy water into the glass container, put the head on, and I flush that soapy water through the entire head. Then I drain that water and just put warm, clean water, and about 10 pumps to really flush through the system. And then you're ready to go. So usually you're going to do that maybe when you're changing from an oil to a vinegar, maybe you're freshening up the oil. But I love having a couple of these because I have my vinegars, I have my oils. Here's another way I love using it. Maybe you want to make a beautiful garlic bread, but you don't want to use excessive amounts of butter. Take your oil, spray it, and I can cover this entire amount of bread, literally this entire loaf with less than 2 teaspoons of oil, it gets a nice even coat because, again, the sprayer dispenses a quarter teaspoon at a time and spreads it evenly. So every little nook and cranny gets just a little bit of oil as opposed to pouring it out of a bottle. You just can't spread that way out of a bottle.
Oh, no.
But then, like I said, when you want to maybe measure, if you're making or baking a cake, I always keep vegetable oil in one, olive oil in another, and vinegar in the other. But when I want to pour, I press that button on the top, and now this becomes a pouring method. So I can measure whether it's a teaspoon, a cup, a quarter cup. I don't have to worry about taking a bottle out. I get both benefits of both functions.
Nor do you have to run to the pantry or the cupboards and
No.
search for that bottle in the middle of baking. It's all conveniently in the Olio Duo. I like the name of it. Now, obviously, no solids in this, correct?
No, correct. So you don't want to put anything solid because it's such a fine spray that you'll wind up clogging the head. If you're somebody who maybe wants to do flavored oils, you could put maybe you steep some oil with some rosemary and garlic and then put that flavored oil in there. But we want to keep the solids out. Now, here's the other thing I love. I keep this by the stovetop because I have that pouring function. Maybe sometimes I want to drizzle a little oil into my pasta sauce. Once again, I don't have to get that bottle of oil out. I simply use the pouring function. But then when it's time to transition, and I'm going to get this close to the camera so you can see, there's a little button on the top.
Yeah.
When I press that button and it pops up, now I'm engaging the sprayer function. So if I'm sauteing some vegetables at the stove and I only want to use a little bit of oil, now I can just spray a quarter teaspoon at a time. So I'm not wasting oil. I'm getting that great flavor. I'm not making my vegetables soggy, whether I'm roasting or sauteing. I'm really getting the benefit of both worlds with this sprayer and pourer. I should say dispenser because it's both a sprayer and a pourer. I love this. And I love that it's glass too, by the way.
I do too, with the measure markers on there as well.
That's right.
Look at that, up to 500 milliliters, 2 cups in there. It looks sleek if you put it out on your countertop because these are the things that we use the most, right? We use our olive oils, we use our vinegars. Did I tell you about the vinegar my friend brought back to me from Italy? Was it you I was telling?
No.
Rosé balsamic vinegar, a white rosé balsamic vinegar. Oh.
I like that. And you know what's great about those things, those really fancy oils and vinegars, I'm glad you brought that up, is you want to get just the right amount.
Yes.
So with the sprayer, you can spread it and you're not wasting it. A lot of times when we used to pour traditionally, you leave so much waste in either the bottom of the pan, the bottom of the bowl, the dish. When you spray it, you get it over the food exactly how you want it.
I'm scared to use it. I love it so much. I want to drink it right out of the bottle.
I love it.
All right, black, very popular, but only 150 remain. These were just new a couple months ago. Here's the red. And then here is the white. This is going to be the only order of the year, though. 833 brings it home on your Easy Pays K93484. Ooh, make that eggplant for me. You know eggplant's my favorite.
Yeah. So here, I'm actually going to use the vinegar just so you can really see it because I want to see how this really spreads. You know, when I say a quarter teaspoon and patented, watch what happens. When I spray this, look at the color of the eggplant.
Oh, so good.
That right there, okay, was 1 teaspoon spread over this entire tray.
Yes.
You could never do that trying to pour it. But once again, when it's time to pour, sometimes you just press the button.
I love it. And I love you, Chef Rick Roman. It's great to see you, my friend. I'll see you soon.
So good to see you. I hope you feel better when